Per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. A few housekeeping things. Follow me on Twitter if you're not already. If you don't have a Twitter, just make an account and follow random people. You don't need to participate in any way. Lurking is fine. At Carpe Noctem. Feel free to interact with me in any way you see fit. Thanks for all the donations. I think it was Andres and CoinRun from Twitter so far. So a few things on the Breakout. First, some non-technical stuff, which I'm really bad at in general, which is why I tend to shy away from talking about it. But a few things. So the October effect. If you look at October 2013, 2015, Bitcoin really loves October. October really loves Bitcoin. People's Bank of China recently devalued the yuan to the lowest level in 6 years, and you can see how that sort of correlates with the movements in Bitcoin since 2015. The stronger, so this is inverse to the CNY. So the stronger this gets, the weaker the yuan gets. And you can see that as the yuan gets weaker, Bitcoin price goes up. There's an ETF decision on the Coin Winklevi ETF coming on the 12th. Somebody may or may not have spoke with the SEC regarding that, saying, and they said if there's no announcement, it'll just be automatically approved. So that's a BATS ETF. It's not the final decision, it's just a preliminary decision. There was a dev conference for Bitcoin, SegWit, block size didn't get talked about, but whatever, that's another non-technical thing that's going on. The US election, possible top on the SPX 500, and zero interest rate policies. So these are all sort of things that are in the ethosphere that I don't really think about too much, but they're there. So if we go to the chart, the most interesting thing, so I saw this on Sunday. I didn't post it because it was only in China, but you can see that price sort of forcibly is out of the cloud resistance. And you might say, well, that's just coincidence. Fine. But it happens pretty often to be a coincidence. So that was another reason amongst all the other reasons that I'll talk about that there was a good chance for movement soon. So that was a weekly in China. Weekly in Stamp, this is why I didn't post it, is because weekly Stamp's still in the cloud technically. I don't know. So let's look at some other stuff here. If we go to the daily, let's take everything off. So we'll build this like a layer cake. This is how I actually look at the chart. You know, I start completely blank and just, you know, do I recognize any patterns? Do I see any weirdness in candles? Do I see any candlestick patterns? So the first thing immediately pops out to me that I've posted a lot already is this inverted head and shoulders. So let's check the volume on that. And you can see the volume profile matches what a head and shoulders volume profile should be, which is descending starting from the highest in the left shoulder. I always confuse the shoulders. Starting in this shoulder, okay, the first shoulder, the volume should always be the highest in that shoulder, and then it should be descending from there until the breakout. So another thing to look at is just horizontal, you know, level volume. So volume hasn't been this high since, you know, August 6th on Bitstamp. So that definitely says something, considering Stamp's volume is quote-unquote real compared to other exchanges. Other thing I'm looking at, again, I mentioned, excuse me, a lot, is this zone, 655. It's the point of the triangle. Expect some turbulence slash resistance slash sideways action in that level. We've cleanly broke this horizontal zone, which says there's plenty of bullish momentum for the next horizontal zone, 655-ish. If we look at oscillators, daily RSI just going towards overbought, which is good. So you can see here, this is another indicator of sort of, I'm really bad with oscillators, so I'm going to call this as the beginning of a trend indicator as far as where RSI is currently sitting. You can see how it failed to reach overbought here and subsequently pulled back. So again, overbought, and it just sort of ranges in this zone above 70 until it's done. Okay, so this says, oh, this is probably the beginning of something. Looking at Stoke, it's not bearish. That's about as much as I can say. It's just ranging in the bullish 80 plus zone. If we look at the premium, let's look at this on a 4-hour. You can see, I always say it's not a rally until it's a rally in China. So this white line means that the price is higher in China than it is in the West. Bitstamp, BTC, which is good. That's what you want. That's usually what happens when we have a rally that's real. The other thing you'll notice is the weekly premium is there compared to all these other times. You know, this is the highest it's been since September, which was when we had, let's take a look. So that was when the last attempt at a rise up was. Okay, that's good. Again, that says something's going on here. You can see the quarterly premium is high because quarterly opened here, and it was sort of about to close around this area. So generally, the premium doesn't get too high when it's about to close. You can see quarterly is at 32, 30, somewhere around there right now, the premium. That's good. That says there's sort of people who believe that this can go higher on a quarterly time scale. I think 80 is like the highest. Yeah, so during this rally, this is like an indicator of a pullback. When we get like 86 to 90 in the quarterly premium, that's when there's some scary stuff going on. And you can argue percentages versus dollars, but 80 to 90 has generally been a good sort of range where it's time to pull back now. So again, that's another indicator. Things are getting started here. Volume, things are getting started here. Go back to the daily. Let's turn on some things. So, like I said, inverted head and shoulders, posting that over and over and over again. You can see volume starting to break out. That's good. We broke this arbitrary diag neckline several days ago. That's good. If I loosely measure this target, I get around 740, 750. You can see we sort of are delaying launch at this diag, which is good. It says that, you know, this is a respected level. This level makes sense. Just like, you know, here made sense. It says that what I'm looking at, my subjective diag line actually is meaningful in some way, in my opinion, if price sort of respects certain levels. And then if we take this off, so pitchfork plus inverted head and shoulders plus horizontal resistance gives us a zone between 740 and 760. The general rule of the pitchforks is this median line as like a magnet for price. So we'll probably see a wick at least of this somewhere in here. Okay, 740, 760. Take that off. If we look at pivots, we look at yearly pivots. I really like the yearly pivot because you can see it's been respected over and over and over and over and over again. All the way in here, respected. If you go to the weekly, you can even see better that it's how respected it was. It was resistance, then it was support. Okay, so that says to me that price is paying attention. Price being people are paying attention to those pivots. I go to the daily and I change it to monthly pivots. You can see again we stabbed the R1, pulled back from there. That makes sense. Again, these are printed at the beginning of the month, So that says price or people are, there's a reason that this is pulling back here, and it makes sense. I'm sure there's a fib of something that is in this zone as well. So those are pivots and pitchfork and patterns. Real quick, going back to the yearly. Yearly pivot has us around 713, 712. So there might be a pit stop there before 750, 760. You can expect some horizontal zone in here. Again, just because of market memory and psychological resistance of 700 even number. So between 700 and 715, let's say, there's probably going to be some sideways or a wick action. But everything's just getting started based on all the things I've just shown you, especially volume, which can go much, much higher. So let's look at the one true god of indicators, the Ichimoku cloud. So for days I've been saying, cloud's been saying, up is okay. And the reason I've been saying that is because, let's take a look at this zoomed in. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days above the cloud, perfectly respected this 607 level. That says to me, again, just like all the other stuff, that line isn't just an arbitrary, meaningless line. It means something. There's a reason we keep bouncing off of it. It says to me that there's a bullish over a bearish bias. We're above the cloud. We have a bullish TK cross since, just move this down, since September. All we really need now is a bullish twist in the cloud to complete the trifecta of the bull checklist. As far as targets on the cloud, targets are a lot harder to determine just based on the cloud alone, but again, you just use horizontals and all the other numbers I've shown you. So that's all I have today on a breakout. If you've missed the Bitcoin videos, let me know. If you hate all the altcoin crap, I'm not a big fan of it either, but it's something to talk about. Lastly, let me just show you. So Slow Moon on Bitcoin Markets posted something about the 3-day MA crosses and how profitable they've been as far as opening and closing positions. So it's something to look at. I don't really look at 3-day too much because I have to go to CryptoWatch to look at it. But you can see there was a 3-day cross here. I'm not really sure what numbers he's using. This is just 927, but you can use any arbitrary cross, backtest it, and see if it makes sense. This one did make sense. You can see we crossed October 13th, and it's almost actually a year exactly since then. So anyways, that's all I have. As usual, like, share, dislike, comment, hit me up on Twitter, Telegram. Happy trading. Bitcoin is back, baby.